Welcome to Talking Politics. I am Paul Gable. I'm here with my friend and co-host John Bond Sr. Today we're talking with 15th Circuit Solicitor Jimmy Richardson at the New China Buffet Restaurant in Surfside Beach. And we're going to discuss some of the issues and some of the things that are going on with the solicitor's office around the circuit. We'll be back in a moment to start with Solicitor Richardson.
Sugami Japanese Restaurant, Myrtle Beach's signature Asian cuisine experience. Fine entrees served in a casual atmosphere, including amazing hibachi selections prepared by expert chefs. Incredible sushi creations made to order from the freshest seafood. And don't forget their steaks, some of the best you'll find on the Grand Strand. Bring your friends and family. Stop in tonight. Sugami Japanese Restaurant, 4813 North Kings Highway in Myrtle Beach.
Welcome to Soho.
Soho is proud to present Soho 544, the beach's premier dining experience, now on Highway 544 near Coastal Carolina University. The same award-winning menu selection you've come to expect. Succulent seafood, excellent sushi, and the very best in premium steaks. Stop in for happy hour or enjoy dinner with family and friends. Fine quality dining in relaxed comfort. That's Soho. Soho 544, 1300 Highway 544 in Conway, just south of CCU.
New China Buffet, the largest Chinese buffet on the Grand Strand, boasting over 120 delicious items. 1700 Highway 17 North Business in Surfside Beach. Lunch and dinner every day, 11:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. The 120-item buffet includes New China's daily chef specials and our infamous hibachi and sushi bar. Start with our fresh salad bar, steamed shrimp, boneless ribs, teriyaki wings, an awesome selection of seafood, chicken, and much more. And oh yeah, don't forget to add our delicious crab legs to your buffet. The owner handpicks ingredients carefully for every dish. 843-828-1111 or www.newchinamb.com.
Welcome back. I think the first thing I want to ask you is, we were talking a little bit before the show, and you said that your felony prosecutions will hit around 11,000 if the current trend continues in Horry County, and that's probably about twice of what it was when you first took office?
Yeah, Paul. I've been doing it about 20 years, so it goes back a ways, but for the longest time, a real bad year would be 5,500. And a more moderate year would be about 5,000 felony charges. We've seen that number increase over the last 3 or 4 years. And this year, at the midway point, we were at 5,500. So where we used to be in a bad year. But that was through the end of June. And if that continues to stick, we're looking at somewhere around 11,000. Hopefully it'll be closer to 10. But all of those are felonies. So we also have magistrates court duties and family court duties. That's just felonies in Horry County. Now, Georgetown, those numbers are pretty steady, same place they were 5 years ago. And that's maybe around 900, not a lot of felonies going on in Georgetown.
Yeah, but the root cause of that, Solicitor, is the increase of population we have here in Horry County. So consequently, your crime is going to get up. And then, of course, we have that 1 cent sales tax for tourism that brings in a lot more people. So you're really having, instead of having 15 million people, you're getting 18 million people. And coupled with that, the crime elevates. That's why I would suspect the statistics here in Horry County are higher than Georgetown, just because of the fact that we're growing faster than Georgetown.
Well,
Would you say that would
let me
be a
challenge
factor?
that.
Would that be a factor?
Well, I'm going to ask him. Can you give us a rough percentage of the felonies that are caused by, we'll call them visitors, tourists, or whatever, and the felonies that are caused by residents here?
All right, I'll give you, I don't know that you absolutely call them either one. It's that mid
transient population.
But, the other day, the shooting at Myrtle Beach that was caught live over the internet, Facebook Live, that gang of people that you see walking down the street, Would you believe that not one of those guys were from Myrtle Beach?
Yeah.
All 32 of them were from other places.
North Carolina.
Yes, North Carolina, but mixed into that 32 were two rival gangs that had brought their business to Myrtle Beach. John's right. During the year, a population, I think Myrtle Beach has got a population of
About
27,000.
Yeah, somewhere.
30,000.
I always call it 30,000 in round numbers.
It's
yeah.
33,000.
And then
Myrtle Beach
you swell that number by 14 million, 15 million, 18 million, whatever it's the second fastest growing metropolis in America. So we do have growing pains. There is population increases, and it's a tourist center, so a lot of fuel there. And a lot of the tourists that you and I think of with kids and strollers, no crime is coming from those guys. It's the day trippers or the maybe 2-day trippers. It's a little bit of all of it. And the big elephant in the room is opioids, which has obviously raised the arrest level. Hey, when you look back at 2010, we had 67 opioid arrests, whether it be pills or heroin. It was just pretty much non-existent. That number has swelled by 10 times since 2010.
Jeez.
So that is just used to 2010, cocaine or crack cocaine was the drug of choice. That's all you saw around here. We never get crack or coke anymore. It's very rare. But it's all heroin and it's all opioids. And that's the majority of our drug cases. And I'm going to say, real quick, you stop me when we need to cut to a break, but as far as traffickers, what has been happening to those guys, we have absolutely been shooting fish in a bucket. I'm telling you, you can't pick up the newspaper or turn on the TV without seeing that somebody's got 15, 18, 20 years. That is astounding. You don't see that in Spartanburg. You don't see that anywhere else. We're knocking it out of the park. Another thing that those numbers don't even show is through our office, we have 2 special U.S. attorneys, federal U.S. attorneys in our office. So we're taking the worst of the worst and putting them in federal court on anytime. And here's what the politicians don't get. I mean, we're talking politics, but here's what they don't get. Let's go after these gangs. I'm with you. Let's go after the gangs. You will never get a gang member for an attempted murder. Why? Because the person that saw it and the people that saw it are afraid to testify.
That's true.
They won't testify.
That's right.
But how you get the gangs, there's no reason to be in a gang unless you're making money, right?
That's true.
The money is being made off of opioids, heroin, and OxyContin.
But how do they get them? How do they get them? They're supposed to be prescription drugs. The doctors are supposed to prescribe them for people that have severe pain. Alan Wilson, the state attorney general, just came out with statistics. Said since 2011 there have been 3,000 deaths due to opioids. Now, if they're prescription drugs and doctors are prescribing them through patients that need them, and patients that are really severely injured need them because of the pain, how do they get them?
I'll tell you how to get them, and it's an easy fix. It's an easy fix with some consequences, but they get them because I see you've broken your foot.
That's true.
I had a tooth pulled not long ago. Doctors will give you for $6 a whole 5-gallon bucket full of OxyContins.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I'm exaggerating, but it is 60 pills. It's a lot of pills.
They only gave me 4.
They gave you 4.
And I didn't take any of them. I threw them away.
I threw mine away. But here's the thing. What they have done in Ohio and in Florida that has worked has reduced the amount of pills that the doctors can give you to 10. And when you go through those 10, you go back to the hospital, and you get 10 more. But you don't get 40 or 50 or 60 Oxycontin.
But isn't there a way you can check on that? Isn't there a way that if they're giving out too many, that there be a red flag going
South
up
Carolina,
and saying, hey, look.
Yeah, but it's a difficult situation. And Alan is doing a great job with the AG's office on this issue. Russell Fry has been tremendous. I mean, if I had to look to one of our legislators that is really helping in this fight, it's been Russell. He's one of the youngest ones. But a real easy way to fix that is to go and look what has happened in other parts of the country and look at their legislation and what has worked. And one of the things that I believe would benefit the doctors is to give them some sort of state and federal relief to where they don't have to write those prescriptions. My doctor friends tell me that they are much more at risk of getting sued by not giving pain management than they are if they were to withhold pain management. So let's do something.
Yeah, but Alan is suing a drug manufacturer that's producing opioids. And
I agree.
Legislation with Rutherford to do something about that. They're suing them right now.
I think we should, and I think that's what took down big tobacco, and I think that ultimately that's what will take down the Oxycontin, oxycodone, hydrocodone, those sort of pills. But in the meantime, because it took decades to take down big tobacco,
Right.
In the meantime, we've got to deal with it now. And I think that here's the biggest myth out there. People think doctors are making tons of money selling opioids. They're not. The drug companies are, but the doctor is trying to treat, I believe the doctor is trying to do what's right. They just do not want to get sued by not giving pain management. I think we give them something almost akin to a Good Samaritan law, which puts a lot more power in them not to give those. And we were already doing some good stuff over the past 2 years about tracking which doctors give what pills. So we're doing better at tracking, but I think we need to support them so that they do have an option out.
By throwing so much money into the enforcement of opioids, so much money, is it effective? Is it doing the job? Or should that money be diverted into more of an educational program, like you have the drug courts? They're supposed to help out and things of that nature. Do we need more drug courts, in your estimation?
Yes, sir. Drug courts are great. Drug courts are great at a minimum amount of people. And what we have struggled with and what I have held firm to is I want to do a good job on every person that comes through drug court. That means that we don't take the masses into drug court. We are selective about who we take into drug court because we can't have but maybe 40 people at the time. And that's a drop in the bucket for the people that are addicted. But if we took everybody that was addicted and watered down drug court, then the 250 people that have graduated and have gone on to new lives, it wouldn't be effective. I don't want a watered down program. A big myth is that drug court costs a lot of money. It doesn't. We can do educational programs, and we are doing them without asking the county for another dime. The county's offered me more money. I don't need it. I'm doing things like Project Lead. I'm doing stuff like drug court, and I'm not asking for money from the county to do it. And I will not take federal funds in the drug court, because the feds have got that part of it really wrong, in my opinion. The feds want to take you off of heroin and Oxycontin, but put you on Suboxone and methadone. And we don't allow methadone or Suboxone in our drug courts.
Well, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, has declared a national emergency with respect to drugs. What, you want me to cut off because I mentioned Trump? Well, what is
I prefer to cut that
Trump
out.
Trump is a good man. No, we're not going to cut that out. We're leaving it in.
No, we need to take a second to pay for the show, John. We got to take a short break to allow our sponsors to talk. We'll be back in a moment.
New China Buffet, the largest Chinese buffet on the Grand Strand. boasting over 120 delicious items. 1700 Highway 17 North Business in Surfside Beach. Lunch and dinner every day, 11:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. The 120-item buffet includes New China's daily chef specials and our infamous hibachi and sushi bar. Start with our fresh salad bar, steamed shrimp, boneless ribs, teriyaki wings, an awesome selection of seafood, chicken, and much more. And oh yeah, don't forget to add our delicious crab legs to your buffet. The owner handpicks ingredients carefully for every dish. 843-828-1111 or www.newchinamb.com.
Welcome back. We were talking about the drug crisis, not only in Horry County, but nationwide, and the solicitor was giving us a view on the federal programs and a view on the state programs. I think you talked about some new program you wanted to mention.
Yep, Paul. Let me throw a lot of that talk into a real thumbnail, because there's a method to this madness, and I believe that if we can stay consistent on this, that we're going to see a plateau and then a decrease in the opioid epidemic. Here's the thing. Here's what we're doing. If you are trafficking, selling drugs, we are going to absolutely hammer you. You're going away for decades, either in state or federal prison. I don't make any apologies for that. At the bottom level, we are sending out videos through the school system to educate 7th graders through health class about how easy it is to get addicted to these pills.
And that is a step in the right direction. Yeah. Wonderful.
And so, we're doing, at 5th graders, we're educating through Project LEAD the same thing. So we're at the bottom trying to educate and keep people off. At the top, we're hammering the people that are making money off this misery. In the middle, we are dealing with a whole class of what I call a lost generation. It's a sad commentary, but once you're in this class, this middle where you're addicted, it's a lot harder to get off of.
Now, you're talking about people that may have, like you said, John's broken foot.
Yeah.
I don't know if a tooth would take you that long, or somebody with a chronic back pain that get, and then all of a sudden they're addicted to it.
Yeah, 30 days. 30 days.
30 days they can become addicted
yes,
to
sir.
it. Huh. 30 days of taking the pills.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
How did Obama's program of releasing them early, the people that were put in prison for drugs, how does that affect the overall picture with respect to leniency insofar as the punishment for people that take drugs and sell drugs and so forth? Did that help or hurt, or was he in the right direction, or did he just do it misguidedly?
I will tell you that there's a lot of pressure to empty out the prisons, but I will also tell you, fortunately, in a backhanded kind of way, South Carolina, throughout those 8 years, sent nothing. We didn't put anybody in federal prison. From our office, maybe 8 people in 8 years.
Although you have federal prosecutors in your office. Now you have.
Now we do. And now we just sent 19 of our worst gang members. So we have almost tripled the amount in the last 6 months that we did in 8 years. Because of that, there was not really any federal prisons in South Carolina to empty out. We hadn't been putting anybody in. But now for this middle group that we were talking about, people that are addicted, they're creating a ton of crime, shopliftings, B&E autos, all of those property crimes are coming from a very much addicted group of our population. For those people, what we are rolling out at the beginning of September is a program to help them. I can't put them in drug court. It's way too many. But what we're going to do is use our transfer court, which gives our local magistrates the authority to have up to a year of sentencing ranges. So when the person comes up for a bond court and they are addicted, we have a program that we're going to roll out in September called Recovery Through Education. We're going to give them an opportunity to go out and drug test, sort of like a drug court light,
Give them a chance to break the addiction?
Break the addiction. If they fail to show up for 6 classes, any one of the 6, they will be rearrested and they will serve the time that's hanging over their head. It's a suspended type sentence, but we're doing it through transfer court and we're doing it through conditional discharge. We're not throwing them away at that point,
but Jim,
mind you. But
we talked a lot about opioids. There's also another problem with marijuana. People are pushing.
Let him finish the opioid thing first.
Yeah, but I mean, there's so much we have to talk about, and this is a problem that we now face because some of the states want to legalize marijuana, and here we have right in front of us the solicitor, that's the chief prosecutor in our area in the 15th Judicial District of Horry County in Georgetown, right here. We want to hear from him. What does he think about that? You see what the governor of Colorado was saying. They made a mistake. They shouldn't have legalized the marijuana because it affects the mind, the brain, and what have you.
With regard to marijuana...
Did I throw you a curveball? I didn't mean to.
No, not at all. I've been consistent on this. We can debate whether medical marijuana is a myth. It is.
See, that's important.
It's not true. And if I were going to go the marijuana route, what I've said is cut the doctors out. Don't make them prescribe it because there's no truth to it. The THC in a pill for certain people, but just cut them out and make it recreational if you want to do that. There's no reason to lie about it. What I've always said, though, is before you do anything, don't listen to this circus show that comes through Columbia that has just come through Colorado and everywhere else. Please, just go talk to the prosecutors, the governors in Colorado, talk with the ones that have already legalized it, and if it's a good idea, do it. If it's not a good idea, don't do it. There were willing guinea pigs several years ago.
But look, in California, people that are growing it are making millions of dollars for selling it, and they're doing the wrong thing, and people have to listen to experts like you with respect to, is it good, is it not good, what are the fallacies about it, and it doesn't come across unless we get a person like you to tell us about it.
But what I'm saying is, don't even listen to me.
Oh, of course you got to listen to you. You deal with it every day.
But talk to the governors of Colorado and talk to the prosecutors. There's a bunch of those.
They don't like it.
And find out if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Now, I'm going to tell you, I believe that, and I have talked with them, so I know the answer, but I do believe that what happened, you can't throw a rock in a pond without seeing a ripple effect. And I think when Colorado opened it up, it's not just that they never expected the crime rate to rise, but what happened, I believe, is a lot of people moved into Colorado. A lot of riffraff moved to Colorado to be able to take advantage of it. So I don't necessarily credit all of that to the drug marijuana, but the pull for the legalization. And that wouldn't be there if it was everywhere else. So, I mean, I'm just being honest about it. But talk with those guys. Now, to the opioid, and then I'll be through with it. But what I was saying is I'm not willing to give up on the guy because he failed a drug test. Then they would go in to jail, where Tom Fox and the sheriff, Philip Thompson, have been wonderful in setting up the education, recovery through education in the jails. So just because you failed out on your own, which we pretty much expect a lot of people to do, then they come back and they have basically forced detox in the jail because they can't get the drugs. So they detox, and at the same time they have volunteers that are coming in and talking to them about how to work in life without addictions.
Now, are these people that have...
Yeah, a real good friend of mine. You met him, Chris Hocker.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure.
A lot of them that have come through drug court.
Oh, yeah.
We really need to take advantage of those guys.
Yeah.
They have a wealth of knowledge and have done just amazing things in changing their lives. But people don't realize how debilitating drugs are. You know, right now we have to worry about drinking water, eating food. Well, when you are addicted to opioids, that is right up there with the water and the food, maybe more. That's why so many of them are skinny. They forget
Skip
about
the
the
food,
food
yeah,
and the water
gotcha.
and just
We
in.
should pay for an additional half hour because the program today is just a half hour with the solicitor, but he has so much information. You have another subject.
Well, we'll just have him back. That's all.
Well, his schedule is so busy. I mean, I tried to get him a couple of times, and he was always running around. But he's giving us the time today. It's marvelous. But you have another issue you wanted to talk about.
I do, but I think first we got to allow the people that have issues
we
with
have
us
to
if we
listen
don't
to
let them
New
on
China,
the TV.
New China Buffet. We're here
we
today.
want to see all the offerings that New China Buffet has. So we'll be
Yum,
back
yum,
in a
yum.
moment after
Yum,
our
yum,
sponsors
yum,
talk to you.
My commercial is yum yum.
New China Buffet, the largest Chinese buffet on the Grand Strand, boasting over 120 delicious items. 1700 Highway 17 North Business in Surfside Beach. Lunch and dinner every day, 11:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. The 120-item buffet includes New China's daily chef specials and our infamous hibachi and sushi bar. Start with our fresh salad bar, steamed shrimp, boneless ribs, teriyaki wings, an awesome selection of seafood, chicken, and much more. And oh yeah, don't forget to add our delicious crab legs to your buffet. The owner handpicks ingredients carefully for every dish. 843-828-1111.
Welcome back. We're going to flip now with Solicitor Richardson. We've been talking about the opioid crisis, something about marijuana, about the felonies in the county. Now we're going to talk. I had a text this morning. I believe you had a text from the same person, good person, that dedicated watcher of the show, wanted us to ask Solicitor Richardson about the need and the possibility of seeing an abuse shelter, domestic abuse shelter, be opened up in Horry County, and I think the solicitor can give us a little bit of the history, for women and children that are suffering from
How about men?
abuse.
Not men?
Not many. Not many.
Not
It's
men?
Usually
Men
women
are
and
abused as
children.
well.
Yeah.
Like me. I'm abused. Go ahead. But anyway.
You got a broken foot to prove it.
Yeah, right. That's true. I'm not going to tell you how I got it, however. Go ahead.
Well, obviously, South Carolina at one point was ranked second in the nation for spouses killed by their
Not that long
loved
ago
one.
either.
Now, we have done an awful lot since then. Governor Nikki Haley was very instrumental in putting a prosecutor in each county to make sure that those cases were prosecuted. The state came through with enough money and a change in the law to make domestic violence a lot stricter. And because of that, we are falling away from that second. We're still a lot of improvement to be made, but that's in the right direction. Now, if there were any more money, I don't need another prosecutor, but if there was a group that has cracked the code on that, it's a group called the Family Justice Center. And what they've done is, and it's in Georgetown, it's not in Horry. They're making inroads into Horry, but we're fortunate to have them there. What they do is they bring together DSS, the school system, prosecutors. They've got lawyers for everything's one-stop shopping. So a woman is abused. She decides, I'm going to call the police. She has a place to stay temporarily. And then they also find her long-term housing. At the same time, they find a lot of times kids have to move schools. They have to, if there's food stamps involved or pet care, they take care of all of it, and it's all under one roof. So it's one-stop shopping. And we've been sending all of our people from Horry County for quite a while to Georgetown to be served by the Family Justice Center.
Let me stop you right there a second and ask, roughly how many people is that from Horry County, if you know?
We have, I think, about 500 domestic violence cases pending in Horry County presently. Now, what percentage of those guys went through the Family Justice Center, I don't know.
But if you've got 500 pending currently, then that certainly shows that there is some kind of a need for something like this in the county.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of it. A lot of it is, if you live with somebody, I'm not ever saying, put your hands on anybody else, but sometimes it's pushing, and both parties are mad, and somebody calls the police. That's one thing, It's another thing. A more common thing is this cycle of violence that is truly torturous. And we've got a prosecutor with probably 20-some years of experience that is going through those cases. He's dedicated. That's all he does. And our purpose is, if we can save the family, we will. If we can break the cycle of violence, we will. If we can't, we've got partners in the Family Justice Center that can take care of the victim of that case. And we really need it in Horry County. I have helped the Georgetown Family Justice Center get an office in the courthouse to help with restraining orders and whatnot. Through donations, they have gotten a building in Horry County. They're getting ready to put together a shelter. And we haven't had a true shelter for domestic violence victims since CASA. And that's been 7-8 years ago.
Yeah, I was thinking around that time, anyway,
Yeah.
7-8 years.
They tried to do something with a group called New Directions, and that lasted maybe 2 years as a fill gap. But Family Justice Center out of Georgetown has been instrumental. They're just great women, and they've got a real passion for the job.
If you know, what would the funding be necessary in Horry County to get a fully functioning organization? If you have any clue.
No, I don't know. But I have ran across people that are real good hearts wanting to do the same thing. And I've told them, I said, look, at least touch base with this group out of Georgetown, because with government regulations and everything else, this isn't just setting up a shelter.
Could you get some of the money that the county wanted to give you that you turned down to divert that maybe into this program?
Well, what they were giving me money for was a domestic violence prosecutor. A prosecutor at the jail. I see. But we had somebody, so we didn't need it. But yeah, anything that they can use it for, it's available. I didn't need it. I don't have room for anybody else.
But it's in the budget.
No, they offered to put it in the budget.
Oh, they offered to put it in.
But Mark's been great. I just, when you bring on more people, you got to have a secretary, and you got to have.
It costs you more money.
Yeah, it does.
And then you're supervising them. You have to make sure they're doing the right job. Before we leave, we have about 3 minutes left. Solicitor, is there anything that you want to call to our attention, the people that are listening, that are here visiting, or the people that are living here in Horry and Georgetown County, that you feel it's important that we didn't touch on today?
Yeah, real quick. I think that one thing, we've gotten some really bad press at the beginning of summer. It's not to say that crime is not here, but I will tell you, and I've said it over and over, if you're not buying drugs out of your house, selling drugs out of your house, you are just as safe here as you would be in any other place to come and visit. If you go to Charleston, or if you go to Las Vegas, or if you go to Atlanta and
or
you're
Chicago,
on the wrong street, yeah, you're on the wrong street, you're going to get in trouble.
You're right.
If you're buying drugs, chances are that person that's selling your drugs isn't the outstanding citizen that you might find on Ocean Boulevard or Peachtree Street or wherever.
So you want to dismiss the image that this is not the place to enjoy?
Let me drop back a second, if I may.
Well,
back to those 32 people from North Carolina that were involved in that last shooting incident, I guess.
Yeah.
Was that all? Could we push them as people that were down here looking to sell drugs to whoever wanted to buy, or was that just a gang situation?
I think, just a gang situation. There's no indication that they were here. And again, I'm not sitting here promising you that something won't happen at the mall or at, on
Broadway
Ocean
at the
Boulevard.
beach or what have you.
Just like it happened. But I'm also not promising you're not going to get hit by lightning. You know, it happens, but it happens with a lot more repetitiveness if you are on some side street buying or selling dope.
But the message you want to send, if you're committing a crime here, we're going to catch you, and we're going to prosecute you. We're not going to let you go. This is a city that abides by the law, but we welcome you to enjoy your stay in Horry and Georgetown County. Is that what we want to say?
Yeah. For criminals, it's always...
we're going to catch you.
Yeah. There's like 139 cameras in downtown Myrtle Beach.
Well, that's good.
That's a shocking thing, but you can't do anything down there illegally without getting caught on camera.
You're talking about on Ocean Boulevard,
On
and,
Ocean
and
Boulevard.
several blocks back, I think, or whatever is the prime thing.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I've been there in their comm center, and it's just TVs everywhere. So you're watching everything. We've solved a bunch of murders and drug cases and all just by watching those cameras. It's called on there. Now, not the interior of the motel room, but you can see the guy that says I was
in the audience
walking in.
watching you today is the councilman from the Surfside.
Yes.
If you have 15 people going to a motel room,
I'm trying to give you a plug, Randall.
on a routine basis, you got an idea something's going on in there.
You got a lot better chance of getting away with something in Sumter or Columbia than you do downtown Myrtle Beach.
But my
it ain't
point
gonna
I wanted
happen.
to make to the solicitor, my point is that you have the support of the Surfside Beach Council. You have a guy like Randall
Yes,
that's
yes.
here, wanted to hear what you had to say. You see the notebook he's taking down, copying down, and wants to support you. So, Paul, say goodbye and leave.
Goodbye. No.
No.
Well, thank you for joining us
Hey,
this
Jimmy,
week,
thank you very
and a
much.
special thank you to
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
the solicitor
Thank you,
here
Paul.
for joining us. And don't miss out on the chance to come to the New China Buffet in Surfside Beach because the food is absolutely excellent. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.
New China Buffet, the largest Chinese buffet on the Grand Strand, boasting over 120 delicious items. 1700 Highway 17 North Business in Surfside Beach. Lunch and dinner every day, 11:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. The 120-item buffet includes New China's daily chef specials and our infamous hibachi and sushi bar. Start with our fresh salad bar, steamed shrimp, boneless ribs, teriyaki wings, an awesome selection of seafood, chicken, and much more. And oh yeah, don't forget to add our delicious crab legs to your buffet. The owner handpicks ingredients carefully for every dish. 843-828-1111 or www.newchinamb.com.
Welcome to Soho.
Soho is proud to present Soho 544, the beach's premier dining experience, now on Highway 544 near Coastal Carolina University. The same award-winning menu selection you've come to expect. Succulent seafood, excellent sushi, and the very best in premium steaks. Stop in for happy hour or enjoy dinner with family and friends. Fine quality dining in relaxed comfort. That's Soho. Soho 544, 1300 Highway 544 in Conway, just south of CCU.
Sugami Japanese Restaurant, Myrtle Beach's signature Asian cuisine experience. Fine entrees served in a casual atmosphere, including amazing hibachi selections prepared by expert chefs. Incredible sushi creations made to order from the freshest seafood. And don't forget their steaks, some of the best you'll find on the Grand Strand. Bring your friends and family. Stop in tonight. Sugami Japanese Restaurant, 4813 North Kings Highway in Myrtle Beach.
I'm Jimmy Richardson. I'm the solicitor for Horry and Georgetown counties. I always enjoy getting together with John and Paul. These two bluster and fight, but I'll tell you, the great thing is you always know that you're amongst friends. So it's a pleasure being with you two.